The simple secret about success. No one told you, but it's in the Bible. Imagine this, you've been working hard, doing everything they told you to do, grinding day and night, sacrificing sleep, following every so-called success principle out there. Yet somehow the wealth, freedom and prosperity you've been chasing seem to slip right through your fingers. Maybe you've wondered, what am I doing wrong? You see people flaunting luxury, accumulating riches effortlessly, while you struggle just to get ahead. Society tells you that success is all about hard work and hustle. But let me ask you, if that were true, why are so many hard-working people still struggling financially? There's a shocking truth about success that no one is telling you, a truth so powerful that it has been deliberately ignored, misinterpreted, and even hidden. But today, you will uncover it. And once you do, everything about how you see money, business, and financial prosperity will change forever. This truth is not based on just any theory. It's been written for thousands of years, hidden in plain sight, in a book that many people claim to believe in but few actually understand, the Bible. That's right. While the world chases after money, the true principles of wealth, prosperity, and success have been there all along, revealed by God Himself. But here's the problem. Most people don't follow them. Instead, they adopt a twisted mindset about money. Some believe that wealth is evil, that success is for the greedy, and that true faith requires struggle. Others chase riches at any cost, thinking that more luxury equals true fulfillment. Both are wrong. So today, we are going to uncover what no one has told you, the real biblical formula for prosperity, why most people never achieve financial freedom, and how you can finally align yourself with the divine principles of success. But before we dive into this life-changing revelation, I need you to do one thing. Subscribe to this channel right now, because if you're truly ready to break free from financial struggles and finally live the life that God designed for you, this journey starts here. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. The first major mistake that's blocking your success. Now, before we get started, I want you to do something important. I know your time is valuable, but this will be worth it. Take just a second and comment below, I am worthy of a prosperous and abundant life. There's power in your words, and by declaring this, you are already aligning yourself with the success that God has designed for you. Most people believe that success is simply about working harder, that if you just push yourself more, hustle more, sacrifice more, then eventually you'll break through. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Hard work alone does not guarantee success. Think about it. Some of the hardest working people in the world, factory workers, laborers, teachers, put in endless hours every single day. Yet many of them still struggle financially. On the other hand, there are people who seem to work far less but enjoy greater wealth. Why? Because prosperity is not just about effort, it's about alignment. You must be aligned with the principles that actually produce financial success. And this is where most people fail. The Bible teaches something profound in Proverbs 10:22. The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and He adds no sorrow with it. Did you catch that? God's blessing, not just human effort, is what brings true riches. Yet many people approach their finances the wrong way. They operate out of fear of not having enough, fear of taking risks, fear of stepping into bigger opportunities. But here's the issue. Fear and faith cannot coexist. You cannot walk in the prosperity that God has planned for you while being enslaved by fear. And this leads to one of the biggest mistakes people make. They trust in their own strength rather than trusting in God's wisdom. They chase after money instead of understanding the divine principles that govern it. Let's look at a real example. Two men start businesses. The first man works tirelessly, never resting, always chasing profits, driven by fear that if he stops, everything will collapse. The second man follows God's principles. He works diligently, but he also seeks wisdom, makes strategic decisions, and most importantly, he trusts that God is his provider. Who do you think will succeed in the long run? The first man may accumulate some wealth, but at what cost? Stress, exhaustion, broken relationships. The second man, however, builds sustainable prosperity because he operates in alignment with God's design for wealth. This is where so many people get it wrong. Success is not about struggling harder. It's about applying the right principles. You must stop striving in your own strength and start seeking the wisdom that leads to true prosperity. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still not seeing results? Maybe you've been stuck in a cycle of hard work with little reward. If that resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Because acknowledging this is the first step to breaking free. And if you're still wondering what true success actually looks like, keep watching, because things are about to get even more eye-opening. The mindset that could destroy your success. Most people don't realize this, but the biggest barrier to success isn't a lack of opportunities, intelligence, or even resources. It's the way they think about money, prosperity, and wealth. You see, there are two types of people in this world when it comes to finances. The first group believes that riches are the result of selfish ambition, that having too much is wrong, and that success is something only a few people deserve. These are the ones who say things like, money is the root of all evil, even though that's not what the Bible actually says. The second group believes that wealth is everything. They chase luxury, prioritize business over everything else, and worship financial success as if it were their ultimate source of fulfillment. Here's the shocking truth. Both of these mindsets are dangerous. In 1 Timothy 6:10, the Bible says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." Did you catch that? It's not money itself that's the problem. It's the love of money. When people idolize riches, they start making reckless choices, compromising their values, and distancing themselves from God. But on the other hand, those who reject money entirely often struggle, feeling trapped in financial hardship, unable to help themselves or others. The key isn't to avoid wealth, it's to understand its purpose. The Bible teaches that money is a tool, not an identity. God blesses people with prosperity, not for selfish indulgence, but to empower them to make an impact. Think of Solomon. He was the wealthiest man of his time, yet his riches weren't the result of greed. They were the result of wisdom and obedience to God's principles. So, let me ask you, how do you see money? Do you fear it, chase it, or do you understand its divine role in your life? Most people are trapped in financial cycles because they have a mindset that sabotages their success. They either believe they'll never have enough, or they think that wealth will solve all their problems. But true prosperity begins when you shift your perspective and start seeing money the way God does. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The secret of the most prosperous men in the Bible. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract prosperity while others struggle endlessly, no matter how hard they try? It's not luck. It's not random. There is a divine pattern that separates those who live in true abundance from those who constantly battle financial hardship. And here's what most people don't realize. God never intended for his people to live in lack. Some of the wealthiest, most successful men in history, Solomon, Abraham, Joseph, David, were not just men of great riches, but men who followed specific biblical principles that positioned them for financial success. Take Solomon, for example. He didn't ask for money. He didn't chase after luxury. Instead, when given the chance to ask God for anything, he chose wisdom. And what happened? Because he sought wisdom first, God blessed him with wealth beyond measure. In Proverbs 3:9-10, the Bible reveals a powerful key to unlocking financial prosperity. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. Did you catch that? God's prosperity flows to those who honor him with their wealth. It's not about hoarding money or chasing after status. It's about alignment with divine principles. Most people focus on making money, but they never ask themselves, am I building my success on the right foundation? Think about this. Have you ever seen someone rise quickly in their business or career, only to lose it all just as fast? That's because true wealth isn't just about finances. It's about having a solid foundation. If your foundation is greed, fear, or self-reliance, your success won't last. But if your foundation is built on God's wisdom, your prosperity will be sustainable and filled with purpose. This is why so many people fail financially. They chase the wrong things instead of aligning with the right principles. But when you understand the divine formula for success, everything changes. And if you're starting to see just how powerful these principles are, take a second to hit the like button right now. Because the more people that see this, the more lives will be transformed by these biblical truths. Now, what if I told you that there is a specific formula for prosperity that most people ignore, yet it's been in the Bible all along? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn next might change everything. The biblical formula for prosperity that most people ignore. If I told you that there is a divine formula for prosperity that has been available for thousands of years, yet most people ignore it, would you believe me? The reason so many struggle financially isn't because of external circumstances. It's because they fail to follow a proven biblical principle that governs money, business, and wealth. Most people operate in a cycle of scarcity. They hold on to money out of fear, believing that if they give, they will have less. But in reality, the opposite is true. The Bible teaches that prosperity is unlocked through giving. In Luke 6:38 it says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." This is a principle that governs finances on a spiritual level. Those who understand it don't fear giving, because they know that giving is a key to multiplication. But let's be clear, giving is not about loss, it's about trust. Think about a farmer planting seeds. If he refuses to plant because he's afraid of losing his seeds, what happens? Nothing grows. But when he sows generously, he reaps a harvest. The same principle applies to money. This is why the wealthiest people in the world, even those who aren't believers, practice giving. Whether they call it philanthropy, tithing, or investing in others, they understand that generosity creates abundance. But most people miss this. Instead of trusting God's system, they live in fear, hoarding money, and operating from a scarcity mindset. And as a result, they block their own prosperity. The most successful people in history have one thing in common. They are givers. Solomon built temples and gave extravagant offerings to God. Abraham was known for his generosity. Joseph used his position of power to bless entire nations. So let me ask you, how do you see money? Do you see it as something to cling to or as a tool to create more impact? Because here's the truth, the more you give, the more room you create to receive. God doesn't bless closed hands. Now, if this principle seems powerful to you, just wait until you see what comes next. Because there is one major obstacle that stands between you and the financial success you desire. And most people never even realize it. The greatest obstacle between you and success. There's something standing between you and the prosperity you've been praying for. It's not the economy, it's not your background, and it's not even your level of education. The greatest obstacle to financial success is much closer than you think. And if you don't remove it, nothing else you do will matter. The biggest enemy of prosperity is not lack of opportunity. It's the fear that keeps people stuck where they are. Fear of losing money, fear of failing, fear of stepping out in faith. But here's the reality. Fear and faith cannot exist in the same space. When you allow fear to control your decisions, you block the blessings that God wants to release in your life. You hesitate to take action, you avoid business opportunities, and you stay comfortable in situations that are limiting your growth. Look at the story of the Israelites in the desert. God had promised them a land flowing with riches, a land of abundance. But what happened? Most of them never entered it. Why? Because of fear. They saw the challenges ahead and chose to believe in their obstacles more than they believed in the power of God. How many times have you done the same? How many times have you had an idea, a vision, a dream, only to talk yourself out of it because it seemed too risky? Let me tell you something. Every successful person you admire, whether in business, finances, or leadership, had to make a decision at some point to push past fear. The truth is, God's blessings require movement. You cannot stay where you are and expect to reach a new level of prosperity. You must take action. And yes, there will be uncertainty, but that's where faith comes in. James 2:17 says, "Faith without works is dead." That means you cannot just pray for wealth and expect it to appear. You must step out, make wise decisions, take calculated risks, and move in alignment with God's wisdom. Most people live their entire lives waiting for the right moment, but let me tell you, there is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is when you decide to step into the life God has for you. So, if you've been sitting on an idea, a dream, or an opportunity, ask yourself, is fear stopping me from stepping into what God has for me? And if this message is speaking to you, I need you to do one thing: share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the truth is, most people are living below their potential simply because they don't have the courage to step into their next level. Now, here's the final and most important part of everything we've discussed. Because knowing all of this is useless if you don't take action. But don't worry, I'm about to show you exactly what you need to do next. The final key to transforming your life. Right now, you have a decision to make. You've just uncovered truths that most people will never understand about money, prosperity, and success. You've seen that real wealth isn't just about working harder. It's about applying God's principles. You've learned how the most successful people in the Bible unlocked riches and abundance by aligning with divine wisdom. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is useless. You can't just sit back and hope that things will change on their own. God's blessings require movement. If you want to step into a life of abundance, you must make the decision to break free from limiting beliefs, take action, and trust that God has greater plans for you than you ever imagined. So, let me ask you, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue living in the same financial cycles, trapped by fear, doubt, and hesitation? Or will you finally make the shift, start applying these principles, and unlock the prosperity that has always been available to you? The choice is yours. And here's where I challenge you, start now. If you've been afraid to step into a new business venture, take the first step. If you've been hoarding money out of fear, start practicing biblical giving. If you've been stuck in a scarcity mindset, replace those thoughts with God's truth about abundance, because the reality is nothing will change unless you do. Now here's what you need to do next. First, subscribe to this channel so you never miss another video that will help you unlock your full potential. Second, activate the notifications, because what's coming next is going to build on everything you've learned today. Third, watch the next video on the screen right now. It's going to take this knowledge even deeper and show you the next crucial step you must take. And finally, if this message impacted you, share it with someone else. Because when you help others grow, you open the door for even greater blessings in your own life. Remember, God's plan for you is bigger than you can imagine, but you have to take the first step. So take action now. I'll see you in the next video.